Follow me. We shall crush them beneath us.
I'm gonna talk about people, also, let's just say some individual, doesn't matter whether it's journalists or anything, that have unites the world, or in this case, the gaming community. We'll start with Neil Druckmann, or in this case, Neil Cuckman. Tell me something, to all of you. Have you ever played The Last of Us Part 2 on the PS4? If so, tell me your experience when you first have it, in the comments.
Neil Druckmann says that The Last of Us Part 3 will likely not happen. I guess the only thing I would say is don't bet on there being more of Last of Us. This could be it. Well, I remember being told that The Last of Us Part 2 was this monumental success and that YouTubers like me and many others were just making up false narratives and that everyone loved The Last of Us Part 2. I'm sure many of you that have followed the channel for a long time remember what happened with The Last of Us Part 2, but if you do not remember, The Last of Us Part 2 leaks hit the internet, and I and many other channels talked about the leaks. This channel in particular did not show any of the leaks, but yet we had multiple strikes on this channel for talking about the leaks, not showing images, not showing any details, simply talking about it. In fact, this channel was suspended from live streaming for a month because Naughty Dog false flagged this channel. They false flagged RK Outpost, Hill versus Babyface, and 10 or 15 other YouTube channels at the time, and it was all bullshit, including the fact that my Twitter account was also taken down by Naughty Dog for well over a year over a meme. This is how Naughty Dog is. This is who they are, and they will never, ever change as long as Neil Cuckman is in charge there.
Sorry you had to see that. To those people who are shills that are still defending this, false copyright strike is disliked by everyone. I'm certain some of you remember Quantum TV. How did that debacle ended? Look, regardless which political aisle are you from, every creator knows that false copyright strike is, in fact, disliked by everyone. And take a look with Neil Druckmann. He refused to admit it. Ryan Kinnell got 2 strikes, and every time he tried to upload it, he is 1 strike away from being terminated. And I mean his channel. Why any of you shields are defending this? You keep on saying that we should support people where they're in need, yet you advocate for people who are losing their livelihoods by Naughty Dog, like this one. So let's continue forward.
And through all of that, we said that The Last of Us Part 2 was going to be a failure. Now, it came out to very, very strong sales in opening weekend, and then after that, it basically went radio silent. And we heard no updates on any of the sales. After they bragged about that opening weekend sales, they just stopped talking about sales. It was pretty interesting how that happened. Now, of course, the first Last of Us game was a really, really big success, and everyone loved it, present party included. I thought it was a fantastic game. But the way that they behaved and how everything released and the leaks and everything with Abby and what happened with Joel, people were sick and tired of this, and people were frustrated and very angry about the way things played out for Joel and them bringing Abby into the equation. And since then, we've heard really nothing about The Last of Us moving forward because, again, The Last of Us Part 2 was a massive failure. Now, later on, years later, they started to say that the game ultimately sold 10 million copies. I don't know if that's true or not, but they did not report on numbers after that first weekend at all. So I don't know if that's units shipped. I don't know if that's units sold. And I just don't trust anyone at Naughty Dog anyway. And that's why we started to say, fuck Naughty Dog, because that's what we say. Fuck Naughty Dog forever.
After this, I'm going to have to skip a bit, at least the part where he says about who did it. Now before that, congratulations, Neil. You definitely unite the whole world. You know what? I don't know if Neil Druckmann has been keeping up with the politics, like say the presidential election. What are the chances are that he knows that Donald Trump is now in office? He can't say anything about it. That's the reason why he's delaying Last of Us Part 3 or canceling it. Not sure about Intergalactic, which that's a whole nother topic. I'm not going to touch on that. Already done it. Now I'm going to skip a bit. Now we'll react to 2 more clips. I'll skip this one a bit and then another one.
4 years ago, let's listen to what my idiot self has
Geeks and
to
Gamers,
say.
it's Jeremy coming to you with another video, and today we have some good news for Geeks and Gamers, we have some good news for the brand, and we have some good news for fair use. But the good news will be short-lived because there is still a fight to be had with the abuse.
Do I still talk like that? I wonder if the good news... I put way too much emphasis on words. Now I'm self-conscious.
Of the system from Naughty Dog. So if you have been following me on social media, or if you saw my post on the community tab on YouTube, you will know that we now have our strike lifted here on Geeks and Gamers, and that is a huge relief for me, and I'm very happy about it. But I am not in any way, shape, or form about to forgive Muso, TNT, LTD, Sony, or Naughty Dog for the nonsense that they have put me and so many other creators through. Now, over 2 weeks ago, they struck my channel for a live stream in which I shared no images and no video, yet they struck my live stream, and for over 2 weeks, I lost the ability to live stream on my channel. This was a huge revenue hit for me. And I asked the question, now that we are at the point where I have received my video restored because I sent a counterclaim, who punishes Muso at this point? I tweeted out to Team YouTube, and I said, hey, Team YouTube, what about Muso now? Are they going to be punished because they false flagged my channel? Well, probably not. Probably not going to hear anything about this. And that is the problem with this situation.
And that's kind of the gist of it right there, is that this went on for a while, and I do believe that Naughty Dog did significant damage, not because they just went after little old me. They went after a lot of people. And there's layers and layers to this as to why this was a problem for them. But obviously, just making a bad game and disrespecting your iconic characters and bringing Big Abby Pump as you hook up, holler if you hear me, into it, that is a big problem. And that was what really did lay the foundation. But their behavior towards people and false flagging and taking videos down and striking channels across the board simply for reporting on the leaks. Not even using any of the images.
Now you want receipts? There you go. Take a look what these wokies will do. Also, Devin Gibson, if you're watching this, I hope you're watching this. These wokies will go so far as to false copyright strike a creator just for an ounce of constructive criticism. A lot of people got false copyright strike to voice their concern. Back then, it was during the George Floyd, and you know how it is, DEI has been through the roof. Twitter is still censored. It was not until Elon Musk bought it. But now, Neil Druckmann has been defeated. He still wished to fight on. I don't know how long. I will skip a bit somewhere here.
But I think it was 3 or 4 episodes. I can't remember. And now here we are with Neil Druckmann saying that The Last of Us Part 3 is likely not to happen. Now, if you need to hear something from Neil Druckmann, listen to this loser right here. And it tells you all you need to know. And I'm just going to tell you, you're going to cringe, and you're going to cringe very hard once you hear this clown's voice.
And the first project we started kind of, moving forward on was called Mankind. And the idea is very similar to what you've seen in The Last of Us, that the cordyceps has jumped from insects to people. And the people it infects, it can kind of create monsters or kill them. But the twist, the thing that was different about this idea, was that it only infected women. And you found the one girl that it didn't infect, and that was Ellie. And you kind of protected her and tried to bring her to this lab where they were kind of finding a cure. And there were a lot of things that we were really excited about this idea, but ultimately it failed. And the reason it failed is because it was a misogynistic idea. What are the things that she's going to be kind of really attracted to and attached to as she grows up? And as a game creator, I look around at kind of what we are making and what are going to be her role models from the stories, and I don't like what I see. More specifically, I'm talking about our female characters. And whether we want to admit it or not, these are role models. And yet we sexualize, we objectify, we marginalize, and we reduce these female characters to a lot less than they can be. And this is coming from a guy that almost made a really misogynistic game. So I kind of know what I'm talking about. So once this thing failed and I had this awakening, almost exactly at the same time, this Kickstarter happened about the tropes versus women in video games. And while you might argue with the way it delivers its message or whether every point is exact, you can't argue with just the pattern that you see in the industry. So I was really intrigued by this. The videos for the video games hadn't come out yet, but I watched the rest of Anita's videos, and I realized it's not just a problem in games, it's actually throughout entertainment.
So there you go. Neil Druckmann right there, ladies and gentlemen. He is a pathetic piece of garbage. And I will never have sympathy for this loser. I will always celebrate his failures. I will always celebrate when some bad news comes out about Naughty Dog, because he tried to destroy mine and many other people's livelihoods over false flags. And once we put the claims in, the counterclaims, they couldn't win a battle, so they had to release it, but it wasn't until 30 days later. Fuck Naughty Dog forever. Fuck Neil Druckmann forever. I will never forgive them for this, and I will continue to celebrate their demise because they don't deserve anything.
If any of you shills keep on saying we should support these developers when they're in need, take a look at this one. Why do people... You know what, let's take Matt Hansen, for example. Why did he attack gamers? Or, better yet, this recently, Assassin's Creed Shadows developer or director, I think, they say they will only allow good feedback from Japanese, which they should have done it years ago. At this point, I'm pretty much certain that Neil Druckmann has heard about Trump's inauguration, and he's probably knew that if he makes anything, the whole network will go after him again. I mean, whatever Naughty Dog is making, whether it's Intergalactic or The Last of Us Part 3, it's gonna get roasted. And I'm pretty much certain the PC port is not gonna do better. It's gonna do less than the PC port of The Last of Us Part 1. False Strike has always been disliked by everyone. Regardless of your political aisle, nobody likes false copyright strike. I mean, how come you didn't see the East or any Eastern developers do the same thing? That's because they only create the games and let the market choose. It's simple. Except these losers like Neil Druckmann, I mean, will they ever learn? Remains to be seen, because we have another 4 years of absolute mayhem, and because of President Donald Trump, these wokies, they're not gonna stop. They're going to double down, and rebranding it is something they will do first, at least temporarily. And they're gonna be more consultancy firm coming, besides out making games.
You were most impressive. Surely your military skills will help guide us on the path to victory. I look forward to your continued efforts.
Leave a like and subscribe if you want gaming news, theories, or you just want to see me play games or make comparison. Visit my first and third channel up here or link in the description.